Hey, Jason here, and today is Money Mindset Study Session, and we're on scroll 8, and this is a really good one, and it's actually funny that this one is coming on today, and I know it happened for a reason. And so let me go ahead and start reading from the book. If you're new here and it's your first day, we're reading Ogmandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World, and today is scroll marked 8. Today I will multiply my value 100-fold. A mulberry leaf touched with the genius of man becomes silk. A field of clay touched with the genius of man becomes a castle. A cypress tree touched with the genius of man becomes a shrine. A cut of sheep's hair touched with the genius of man becomes raiment for a king. Hey, how you doing, Kathy? How's everybody going today? As you're coming in, let me know where you're coming in from. So now, what he's actually saying here, like unless you're in a very remote area, you're not trying to mold stuff out of clay, you're not trying to be cutting sheep hair. I'm talking to people who are in a major city. What this means is how to multiply your value 100-fold. We're talking about group economics. One person cannot do more than many. And I'm doing great, thank you. And this is one of the biggest issues that is really suffering black communities, specifically black communities, because we are the only ethnic group that does not practice group economics. You see this in every other part. Intuitive Mycologist, how you doing, brother? Great live this morning, man. Great live. And I know Chuck looking down proud of you, brother. I know he's so proud of you, man. In the Chuck buckets, I love that, bro. Great branding on that. And a great way to pay homage to Chuck, man. I was so honored that you got me, you allowed me to meet him. He was such a great person. But let's get back to the scroll mark day. Let me start before I get off hand. So to multiply your value 100-fold, we are talking about group economics. Yeah, so yesterday I was busy. I was really busy. I didn't get back home to 8 p.m. And summer has hit us early. Lusaka is hot. I don't know what's going on. If it's La Nina. It is super hot here. And I was so exhausted. I literally passed out. I just passed out and went to sleep. I apologize for that. But sometimes you have to put yourself first. And that was just one of those days like I did not have the energy to be able to come on live. Plus, when I got home, there was no electricity. So that was a bummer also. So I do apologize for that. And that's why I say, like, with this scroll coming up today and what happened yesterday, me not being able to come on live, it was divine intervention. This makes so much sense because this scroll is just applying to what I've done today. And I'm going to explain that to you how and what happened. And so today I will multiply my value 100-fold. You as one person cannot provide more value as a group of people. And this is something a lot of us must start practicing. If you ease the burden, and what I mean by burden is when you're trying to get into entrepreneurship, start your own business, whatever you want to call it, it's expensive. There's a lot of costs that people don't talk about. There's a lot of learning curve that you must start to understand to get to a point of where you're successful. And remember, the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. Progressive means you're going to be failing. You're going to keep going over each hurdle that comes to you. There's going to be things that come up. However, what we have not been taught is if you're trying to be successful as a group, that progression is a lot easier because you're spreading out the burden amongst other people. So if you can see right here behind me, this white car, this is a car that me and two other guys here in Lusaka, we've just purchased. We're using this car to go on Yango, and we're going to start a whole fleet on Yango. And it's a way to us to make money, but also to help drivers here that want to actually earn money. Yes, there's going to be strict restrictions against them. There's going to be guidelines for them to follow. It's not like we're saying, hey, giving someone a key. No, you must be someone who is trying to show, like, dude, I really want to change the life of my family. And by them changing the life of their family, we're giving them an opportunity that everyone else is not giving them here. But guess what? If Jason, and I did have the money at one point to purchase a car like this by myself. I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. because I kept saying, like, I want to do group economics. I don't want to be in business by myself. I want to be in business with other people. I want to spread out that burden of finances, but also spread out the rewards of being able to earn generational wealth. Because here's the catch, and this is something only history teaches us. If you look at anyone in your family, any one person, whether it was a man or a woman, and they became really successful, before they truly got to enjoy their success, they most likely passed away. Did get to enjoy a little bit out of their success. They were so busy trying to enjoy a little bit of success, they were not able to teach the next generations what to do properly. This is why it has been not scientifically, but psychologically proven amongst black communities, generational wealth does not last longer than 2 generations. Usually by the time the 3rd generation gets the wealth, it is squandered. We have to start understanding how we can actually make generational wealth, but also be here to teach our next generations how to do it. And the answer is group economics. And this is what the scroll number 8 is talking about. Today I will multiply my value 100-fold. I invested a little bit of money into the car, and the other 2 individuals invested a little bit of money into the car. But we're able to get 100-fold. The car is able to make its money back and go to the black in 6 months. After 6 months, that is all profit. But if I was doing it by myself, I wouldn't be able to. It'd be like, okay, I'm stressed. Because now if something goes wrong with the car, if there's any mechanical errors, any of these things, like, this is where group economics is making you expand your value by 100-fold. You're multiplying. This is how it works in business and entrepreneurship. You must start working together as groups. And I know us as black people, this is one of our biggest stigmas. It's taken me 10 years to finally find 2 other individuals that would be willing to do group economics together without trying to be greedy, without trying to just rush into everything because they're in survival mode, just to be like, you know what, hey, this makes sense. Like, I don't need to be making 10,000 kwacha a month right away, but you know what, if it's bringing in something every week, I'm good. That is what this is about. This is about bringing in something. Thank you for that, Kathy. I appreciate that. But this is what it's about. It's about bringing in little bits for long-term gains. This is how you create generational wealth. Winning the lottery is not generational wealth. You know, a lot of things in school is not taught to teach us how to be wealthy. School, 3 of us coming together, every 2 months we get a car. That means by next year, we would be at about 10 cars, because we could get every 2 months, that is 6 cars a year. After a year, after going on the 2nd year, we could be at 10 cars. Now that 3,000 kwacha a month is now 30,000 kwacha a month. Do you see how much that multiplied? How vast it gotten? Now each individual is making 10,000 kwacha a month. That is life-changing for some people here in Zambia. That is life-changing for some people in America. Just to be able to bring that in, passive income, that is multiplying your value 100-fold. That is what we have to start operating in. But do you know how many people I've pitched my tiny home plan to? And how many people have been like, man, let's get on this, I'm in? 0. Because so many people are focused to be in survival mode, we're not understanding what it really looks like to create generational wealth. This is why financial literacy should be every last one of our first goals that we should be aiming for. After financial literacy, and you start understanding, once you can earn $1, 1 kwacha, 1 rand, 1 pula, 1 peso, you multiply it. Now turn that 1 into 10, turn that 10 into 100, turn that 100 into 1,000, turn that 1,000 into 10,000, and keep moving forward. That is the way that entrepreneurship works. That is the way that generational wealth works. If you look at Warren Buffett, who everybody says like, oh man, Warren Buffett is the best, he's the greatest. Did you know he practiced group economics? Warren Buffett did not become Warren Buffett on his own. Truth be told, Warren Buffett was broke when he first started out. It was a rich woman who became a widower when her a widower, whichever one it is, a widower is a man. Okay, she became a widow, and when she became a widow, because she knew he understood what he was talking about, she invested in him. They came together as a group. She was the financial backer to help him. Now, all of us do not have the proximity to people with that type of money to where they like, know, and trust us. Warren Buffett did. He ate shit for a bunch of years learning, working his butt off, really trying to understand how economics, how the real estate thing worked. Because she saw his hustle, she backed him. But that is still group economics. See, like how Kathy here says, most people want fast money, so it becomes a challenge. That is true. And here's the catch with fast money. The faster you get money, the faster it goes away. That's why 99.9% of people who win the lottery are broke within 5 years. This is why every country in the world just about have some type of lottery system, because they know psychologically it's not going to change anybody's life. Most of those people are just going to become major consumers, and they're going to get into lifetime debt that they can't repay. And by the time they transition from this physical plane, they will actually be owing more money and leaving their family in such a legacy of debt that they will not be able to crawl out of it. That is why the lottery is one of the biggest things in every single country you go to. I saw it in Panama, America. It was in Colombia. I think no, South Africa has it. I believe Botswana had a lottery. I don't know if they have a lottery here. I don't think so. I believe there was one in. I know UK has a lottery. I believe there was one in Amsterdam when I was there. South Korea has some type of lotto. Like, that's why even gambling is so legal in so many places. They know most people will bet a generation's worth of money that they could have used to create a generational amount of wealth. But if we started to come together, group economics is the only way to beat inflation and deflation of your currency. Coming together, everyone taking a bit of the burden. You see this in Indian communities, you see this in Chinese communities, you see Arabic communities, you see this in Hispanic communities. You see this all the time, except I think you see it in Somali communities, Ethiopian communities. Let me share this story with you if you haven't heard it before. While I was in South Africa, I was riding in the Uber and I was talking to an Ethiopian guy, and he was like, "Man, if you're going back to America, let me know, bro. I'll buy you a ticket, all of this." And I was like, "Bro, I appreciate it, but I'm not going back." I was like, "Man, you don't know how expensive it is here." Then he said, No, it don't matter about the price." I'm like, "Bro, you a millionaire or something?" He was like, "No, I'm Ethiopian." And I was like, "I see you're Ethiopian, but what does that have to do with anything?" He said, "I know when I get there, there's going to be Ethiopians to look out for me and take care of me." That blew my mind. I was like, wait. What do you mean you know? You have Ethiopians that is going to take care of. I'm like, is it your family? Is it friends? Is it someone you know? He was like, "No, we're a community." He was like, "I'm going to take care of any of my Ethiopian brothers or sisters that I find here, and they're going to do the same for me wherever I go." I was like, yo, I don't even feel comfortable going back to America because I don't feel taken care of. And I was like, this man, it expanded my mind to something that I never even knew people thought like. Like, I never even had a thought of, like, I can just go somewhere and I'm taken care of. And mind you, I'm a person who stresses over money. I'm a stressor because I never want to be poor again, and I don't ever want to be a burden on someone. And when he said that to me, it was like, yo, I want to be in a group economic. I want to be in a community like this. I want to feel taken care of. But also, I want to be in a place to where I can take care of others. And the only way for us to start doing this is by practicing group economics. And this is what scroll number 8 is telling you. Today, I will multiply my value 100-fold. The best way you can multiply your value 100-fold is by working with other people. Because as each person equally puts in the same amount of money continuously, that money is multiplying. It is compounding. It is now having more buying power that each individual did not have. And so really think about that. I'm not going to go too much reading word for word because I don't want you to get caught up in the the language that they're using. They're using language from an older time. Like, we need to talk about the time we're in now when it comes to multiplying our value. And to multiply our value right now, the way we do it is group economics. This is the one thing that is not practiced amongst majority black cultures. I know everybody want to be like, well, I'm this tribe, I'm that tribe, I'm from America, I'm from the South, I'm from the North, but we still don't come together. Literally, I can go and talk to 100 people and probably zero will come and donate $1. More people will come with complaints about, oh, well, what about this? What about that? How I know I'm not getting ripped off. Poverty is ripping us off every day. Doing the same thing that we do every single day is ripping us off. Not creating a generational legacy for our kids is ripping us off. Creating and working our ass off for money just to die and not pass that knowledge down to our children, to our next generations, is ripping us off. We need to be alive. We need to be here. We need to work together. We must start changing the way we look at life. We have to stop doing the things that we've been doing. Like, even now, when you always hear on some of these pop the balloon shows where you have some women, oh, I want a provider, he needs to take care fully of me. Nobody has time for that anymore. That world is gone. We don't live there anymore. We have to work together as a team, as a unit, as a group. If we don't work together as a unit and as a group, we're doomed to be poor for our entire life. And yes, you may have nice cars. Yes, you may have nice cars. But what are you going to truly leave down to your kids? You can have a 2025 Mercedes. By the time 2030 comes, that Mercedes isn't shit. You can have $1 million in the bank right now, but by the time 2050 comes, that $1 million does not have the same buying power as now. We must understand how to come together, how to work together, and how to be a group financially. We must control our buying power. I don't know if you know this, but black people make every other group rich. Every other group in the world, ethnic group in the world, knows if they want to get rich, all they need to do is find a way to sell some type of product to black people. However, why aren't we selling the products to ourselves? Why aren't we having the money circulating amongst ourselves? Why aren't we creating businesses together? So many times, one person's struggling to get their business going. And anybody that's been in entrepreneurship will know, like, it is hard to get your business going. They tell you right off the top, it takes about 5 years before a business actually gets successful. To reach a lot of money after that 5 years, it takes about another 5 years. Over 80% of businesses fail in the first 3 years. They run out of money. If we're running out of money, what that means is, like, we can't keep doing everything on our own. Yes, even for me, like, I live off my military pension. My military pension is a decent amount. It is a good amount. I could live the rest of my life a nice, very comfortable life, but it isn't going to create generational wealth. I can't pass that pension on down to my children. But if I had a car fleet with a group of other people and we had 100, 200, 300 cars, that's the type of income that I could pass down to my children. They pass down to their children. Hey, how you doing, Sarah? How you doing today? Like, we all have the ability to pass those things down. If I have a tiny home community that's bringing in 150,000 kwacha combined monthly because it's over 100 homes, I can take the time to teach my children how to maintain those homes. Maurice, how you doing, brother? Like, I can have the time to teach them how to maintain those properties. I can have the time to teach them how to look out for, hey, these are the patterns. This is the actual way you start actually raising your rent. You don't raise your rent every year. You're supposed to do it in a cycle of 3 years, then 5 years, then 7 years. Go back to 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. And while you're doing that and increasing your rates, like, I can be teaching them how to leverage debt on the properties, to start using the banks to get money. Those are the things that are going to keep our children to where they don't have to make the same mistakes as us. Like, how many more times are we going to keep telling our children, go to school to get a good education, to get a good job, when in truth we're telling them, hey, go learn this useless knowledge that a monkey could do, because let's be serious, like, a monkey can do it. And then you're going to go and work for someone else to build their dreams. You're going to go build another man's generational wealth for his family. While you're sitting here taking away all your time from your kids, you may not even get to instill what you want in your kids. Now you have to put them in a school system that is ran by poor people. And I'm not saying it to be mean. If you remember however you felt whenever you were broke or anything like that, that is exactly how teachers feel. That is not a good feeling. When I look back and I go back to those feelings, the emotions I had when had payday loans, when I was drowning in debt, I didn't know what to do. I was punning shit. I did not want to share any of that or be that type of person around children. So like, why are we okay with telling our kids to go learn from those people? And it's not knocking teachers, but it's the truth. We gotta start being honest with ourselves now. Like the world we live in is a slave world. We're enslaved to debt. We're enslaved to useless knowledge of going to school. And we're enslaved in this useless system of fighting for jobs that don't pay us anything that's worth what we're worth. No one is going to pay you what you're worth but yourself. And no one is telling that. But how do you get to the point where you can start actually paying yourself to what you're really worth? Group economics. Because if you're not paying your employer is not going to pay you what you truly deserve. And I meet a lot of hardworking people. It don't matter, Africa, Colombia, Panama, Amsterdam, the UK, South Korea, Iraq, the United States, Canada, Mexico. I meet a lot of hardworking people, Jamaica. So, we can't say that people are lazy. People are not lazy. The fact is, jobs do not pay people enough. And then they're telling you to get into entrepreneurship by yourself. You're not going to be able to make enough money working a 9 to 5, even though most people work about a 7 to 7, because you count your traffic and things like that. And then you think you're going to go at home at night and build $1 million business. That is a movie dream. It is not real. Everyday business happens through 9 to 5 o'clock, Monday through Saturday. Like that is when business happens. That is why when people are like, oh, there's no opportunities. No, they're there. You just can't see them because you're not around them. When I used to go to the investor seminars in Las Vegas, it was so much opportunities all around. And, people tell me like, man, why are you here? Why are you doing that? I'm like, here, look at this pamphlet. Let's talk about this. And they were like, oh, I didn't even know this existed. I'm like, because you're not looking for it. You're not even in the place to where you can see it because you're out here on the street. You're here in the casino. You're doing things during the same time of business. But if we start utilizing group economics or multiply our value 100-fold, then we can start seeing the opportunities. Let's say like in Bowie. If Mbuyu's working today, but we're doing group economics, and today I'm like, hey man, let me take off. You need to work today. I'm gonna take off. But we're all pooling money to something. Let me go check out the event. I'm gonna take notes. We all come back. I'm gonna record what I can. Let's go over it together. That's group economics. That is a way Mbuyi can actually learn what was going on at the same time that I'm learning it. But if he's working alone and just he or she, I'm sorry, I can't see the picture. But if they are working alone, then they're just gonna miss that opportunity time and time again. It's not going to change. It is literally being crazy. And Einstein said crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. We're not going to get different outcomes until we start working together in group economics. And mind you, like I said earlier, it has taken me 10 years to finally just get 2 people who are willing to commit to this. 2 years, 10 years, 10 fucking years. This is crazy. Even if I had, let me see, on TikTok, I think I have about 17,000 followers. Of that 17,000 followers, do you know if each and every last one of us just dedicated one kwacha? That'll be 17,000 kwacha. Do you know how many businesses we can open, how much land we can purchase, how much minerals we can start purchasing? That is how powerful group economics is. It turns one into a lot. But because a lot of us don't have the belief in ourselves and we don't understand financial literacy, we don't understand the power of group economics. And a lot of us are not even getting into other groups and other circles to understand what they're doing. Let me see, Intuitive Mycology said Koreans in the US have group economics on. Bro, thank you. That, I'm so glad you said that, brother. Do you know Vietnamese and South Koreans, their group economics is so powerful in the United States, they even changed the signs of the streets to their characters. And I apologize if you're Korean or Vietnamese on here. I can't remember what the name of the characters are. But they have that much power in group economics that they have changed the street signs to where it's in their language in English underneath. Like, how crazy is that? What could we do with group economics? Here's some things. You know, one of the things, I know a lot of my sisters love wearing weaves and wigs. Nothing wrong with it. But you want to know how we could start our own weave and wig business? If we all came together, put $1 together each person, and let's say if there was 1,000 of us, that's $1,000. One person goes to Vietnam, source the materials, pay for it, bring it back in bulk, and then we set up our own economics. How about cars? If we all came together, put in money, purchase cars together, and slowly, hey, here's a car for you, you're next in line, you're next in line, you're next in line. That is group economics. If we wanted to create a business, I don't care if it's a food business, a mall, a restaurant, some type of entertainment business, a nightclub, whatever, all came together, put money together consistently. And like, I'm gonna just keep using my TikTok as an example. 17,000 people on TikTok. If each one of us came together with $1, that would be $17,000 a month. In 10 months, that is 170,000 US dollars. Even in America, you can do something and build something with 170,000 US dollars. We have to stop devaluing what we can do. The problem is we're not coming together. We're breaking the rules of scroll number 8 over and over and over again. Today, I will multiply my value 100-fold. Work together, group economics. That is the only way to do it. And I know there's always those one naysayers, well, I've done it on my own. How stressful was it? How hard was it? Like, really ask yourself that. If you've been doing it on your own, how stressful was it? How hard was it? But most importantly, how much time did you take from your family and your loved ones? One of the biggest causes of divorce is when some men are working so hard, they're so determined on trying to earn for their family because they know that when that day comes that they're no longer going to be here, they don't want their family to miss out. But then they end up missing out on their entire children's lives. They miss out on the love of their wife. Like, we have to stop doing this. We have to start putting family first. We have to start putting generation first. It's like an ancient Native American proverb that said, if you're not thinking for at least 3 generations down the line, you're not thinking. And us, in the modern era, we need to start thinking 3 to 4, 5 generations down the line. We need to start setting up things in place to where our great-great-grandchildren are taken care of. But not only just taken care of monetarily, we need to make sure they have taken care of with the knowledge of how to be successful. So they have a head start on realizing their worthy idea. Because if I would have just had a little bit of a cushion starting out, man, I would have probably been a billionaire by now. And you probably would have too. Like, you're not lazy. There's nothing missing inside of you. It's just a little bit of these financial literacy things that we have to start understanding and we have to start grasping as a group. And because we can't do it alone anymore. We have to become a group again. I know I joke a lot about creating my own new tribe here, but I'm fucking serious. I'm serious about creating a tribe of wealth, a tribe of generational wealth. Like, I'm tired of when people look at me like, oh, you're successful. No, I'm not successful, man. If I would have had more groups of people around me, more true brothers around me, you know, everybody want to call each other king and queen, but kings and queens work together. Like, we have to start being real about the words we use. Like, when I say I don't want friends, I don't want friends. I want brothers. I want people where you don't know your family taken care of and I can know my family taken care of. Because when the day comes that I transition from this physical plane, I want to know that my children are taken care of not only physically, financially, but also mentally. That they're instilled. And then they know that they have uncles that they can go to who are going to take care of them, that are going to teach them the right way, because I'd be damned if any of my brothers, they transition and then I don't try to put this information as hard as I can into their children also. And so I just wanted to share that with you today. This was scroll number 8. And just remember, it is today, today multiply your value by 100-fold. Group economics is the way to do it. And so your assignment for today, your exercise, what is something that you can do in group economics? Just think of one thing, man. Don't stop making this shit so difficult. It is not difficult. I keep getting these messages, these DMs like, oh, I don't know. Slow down. Stop overthinking this stuff. This is the problem. School has made us believe that being successful is so out of reach. It's like we got to go to the moon. We don't need to solve how to get out of the gravitational field of the earth to be able to be successful. What is one thing that you can do as a group? That's it. What is one thing that you can do as a group? And don't go to sleep before you figure that out. Hell, I just showed you one. Buy a car. You can buy cars as a group. Put these cars on Gango. Put these cars on Uber, Lyft, whatever car, InDrive, whatever, Didi. And you can be making money as a group. You can come together, get into real estate. You can come together. You can create clubs. You can create restaurants. You can create bars. But do it together. That is group economics. So just, what is one thing that you are willing to do for group economics? And stop making it so complicated. Stop worrying about how much it costs. First, you need to figure out, like, and believe in yourself that you can do one thing as a group. Because then once you believe you can do it as a group, then you go pitch it to people. There's going to be people who say no. There's going to be people who don't believe it. It took me 10 years to get 2 brothers to finally do this. 10 years. Now, mind you, I have always been around a bunch of people, expats, who have had money. So it's not about people with just having money. Like, there's always going to be naysayers. So don't focus on that, but focus on what is the one thing that you can do to create group economics. If you're in Soweto, there's a lot of stuff. If you're in SA, there's tons of things. In SA, which y'all just now legalizing 420, you can create your own dispensary. You can create your first 420 resort. Do you know how cheap land is in Eastern Cape? There's close to beachfront land in Eastern Cape for like 1,000 USD. And you gonna tell me 1,000 South Africans can't come together and do that? Bullshit. I've seen more come together to go club. Yes, Eastern Cape. Thank you. I'm telling you right now, when it's payday and it's time to hit up the clubs, it's time to go chase the women, I see a lot of group economics there. So why can't we do group economics to actually empower ourselves? Why can't we do group economics to actually stop working our jobs? Why can't we create a group economic to start earning money passively, legally? I'm not talking about doing anything illegal. Everything I've said is stuff that is legal. So don't let yourself in today without figuring out what is one thing that you could do with group economics. What is one thing you could create with group economics? What type of business? Is it a restaurant? Is it a culture shop? What can you do? And I just want to end it there. And so I'm going to end it one last time. Today I will multiply my value 100-fold. In other words, today I will start practicing group economics. And if you want to read this for yourself, it is Agmendino's, The Greatest Salesman in the World. If you do not have the money to purchase this book, it is free on YouTube. I listen to it every single day. It is free on YouTube. Just type in there, the greatest salesman in the world, and it will pop up as an audiobook and you can listen to it for free. And so just remember this, I am Jason, and success is simple once you know how. All right, good night TikTok, and good night YouTube.